Good morning, guys. Happy Friday. We're going to kick this off today with a question. My question to you is, when did Russell Crowe join the cast of Finding Bigfoot? I don't know who this guy is. I don't watch the show, but it looks a lot like Russell Crowe there. So just curious. All right. So today we're going to talk about something just very quickly, but I'm going to talk a little bit about black screens, and then we'll talk about things to know Thursday, which I tried to upload all day yesterday to no avail, and I'll tell you a little bit about it. But first, let's get to the business at hand. Okay, I know, ugh, but I just want to recant, and this is just for folks who are basically new to this, maybe just sort of visiting the channel, and to explain. We have a number of folks out there that don't necessarily represent their product the way that they should, right, in a factual manner. I use this as an example, as a consistent example of somebody who does not. So that's what this is about. This is basically a critique. So I just want to put that out there for you guys. But what's happening here is that this individual, Kenneth Bird, is comparing his projection coating formula against a flat black paint coating, right? Just flat black. Now, questions that I would have. First of all, who in their right mind would try to use just a flat black paint as a projection screen? I've yet to see or come across anybody who tried. They may have tried it, but I don't know anybody who's out there trying to sell anything that looks even close to this. Even the worst stuff that I've seen out there is not this. So, once again, the question is, what are you trying to prove? So he explains that he's trying to show how any black can pull up contrast. Well, let's first talk about contrast. Contrast isn't something that you quote unquote pull up. It's a black screen. So natively, it covers the bottom of your contrast spectrum. And keep in mind, contrast is not about black. Contrast is the juxtaposition or the difference between your super brights, your whites, and your blacks. The wider that range is, the more depth, perceptibly anyway, your screen's going to have. You're going to have deeper contrast, which means some dark scenes are going to, be black as opposed to, say, more of a dark gray. But contrast is the full spectrum. When you say the word contrast, contrast is not just about dark, because and give you an example. In this example, you might have a lot of dark, you may have a lot of black, but your white, let's say your spectrum was from here to here, your white just got pulled way down. All right. So you've got a smaller contrast band on this than you would if you were using a gray screen. So when you say a gray screen has less contrast, what you need to say is to clarify yourself and speak in professional terms and let people know that the black levels are not as deep on a gray screen, because quite frankly, your contrast levels on a gray screen are probably going to be much wider than on this black screen. And I want you to see, because it's not really black, it's more of a light gray or darker gray. When you see it up next to the black, you can tell it's not a jet black as he says so. But I also want you to look here. There's my hot spot, ever present. And then look, all of this is supposed to be white. All of this is supposed to be white. So please explain to me how that's the highest white levels out there. The highest white levels, that's what he claims, the highest white levels on the market, yet I'm not seeing them. Do you? Question mark, do you? Because I don't see a lot of difference in this color and this color. This is a little darker, I'll give him that. But really not a lot of difference between that color and that color. So I'm going to pause again. All right, next I want you to see this scene. okay? And I'm going to use one of my own products as an example. Usually, guys, I don't do that. That's not something I like to do, but I am going to do it here because I want you to see something. So burn that into your brain. Hold on, and we'll come back to it. All right, guys, here we go. So this is one of my videos that I put out last week sometime, I think. And this is in daylight, okay? This is outside in daylight, not just one light sitting up there, which the light wouldn't change the color so much. It would dilute them a little bit, but it wouldn't shift all the colors. There's the colors, and that's accurate color representation as opposed to this. You see the difference? Just a massive difference there, guys. So, I'm not sure. I noticed he kind of changed his tone in this video as compared to the others because he was a lot more forceful in the previous stuff. So I don't know if maybe him and his chemist are having some issues over there. But what I would say is that it matters not so much what I say, what he says, what any of your mixers out there say. Vet it, right? Validate it. Validate that what we're telling you is the truth. But in cases like this, let your eyes be your ears, okay? Because if you see images that look like this, and this is supposed to be the flagship of his line. And there's another question I would have is why waste all this time doing videos against flat black paint, against your own gray concoctions, stuff that he's mixing there? And do you think he's going to mix it to be anywhere near the caliber of what he would make as his flagship? Well, no, absolutely not. So it's pointless. It's meaningless, guys. But outside of that, why not show a comparison between your 4, 5, and 7 mixtures? Why would you not have 3 of those lined up where people can see the difference in brightness between your 4, your 5, and your 7? I personally believe because 4, 5, and 7 are all the same stuff. It's just being presented in a different manner because I don't see it getting any brighter from video to video to video. But I'll let you guys make that call. All right, so last thing. Okay, so for you guys who have been asking or been interested, had both, actually. As far as the UST versions of Goppity Goop, these are the 2 versions that we're going to come out specifically for USTs. Now, this is the Vega, and this is the Daystar. So these are both UST versions of the mixture. This is painted onto fabric, and I'll give you an example of those real quick. Hold on just a second. Okay, I've got my Xiaomi Mi out, and I'm going to give you a quick example of that is the UST Vega. So that one's going to be darker. It's going to carry more black levels, deeper black levels, while retaining your brights. You can see there I'm trying to keep it on a face so that you guys can see flesh tones and things like that. All right, and then the lighter version, the Daystar, is here. You notice it still retains. This is only a 3000:1 contrast ratio projector, and it still retains contrast levels very well. All right, so I don't have full-size versions of those yet. I will be working on it. Well, I say I don't have full-size versions. I have full-size version of Vega in the non-UST version that I'm working on. It's actually a 180-inch screen. I was going to do 200, but the material that was available to me at a 200 was just not the optimal material. So we're making a 180-inch screen for outside. That'll be our drive-in theater screen, and I'm excited to be able to show you guys that. We got a lot of rain coming through the area if you watch the news. So what I'm going to do is wait until all of that passes, and then we'll put it up and I'll do a display outside. So we're excited about that, but that'll be the next display that I do. And then The last thing that I had really was, once again, I tried to upload our Things to Know Thursday, and I was discussing the future of projection. It gets called into question a lot these days as to over the next, say, decade, what will happen with projection. You've got sort of half the folks in one camp that say projection will become obsolete. And then you have another camp that says no, projection will never be obsolete, at least, not in foreseeable future, but it will change to some degree. And that's all because of the onset of modular panels, starting with the QLED panels, but will obviously, as it always does, proliferate into other areas. So I'll plan to do that for next Thursday. In the meantime, if you guys have any thoughts on the types of features and things that you think will drive projection forward into the future, I'd be interested in hearing those. Otherwise, you guys have a great weekend and take care.